love the Champions League and see the competition for what it is. The Champions League is really the World Cup, right? Tougher than the World Cup. So
experience in this competition, you cannot go wrong with it. And, if you don't have personalities in your team, it's difficult to win this tournament, especially in the last decade. You have to have players who, on their own day, are you impressed with Tuchel? So far, I am impressed with what he has done. He's not a coach that I rate highly, but I always knew that when it comes to one-off game, cup games, Tuchel will give you. He knows how to set up his team. He's just being around for a long time and managing players. Back again, Champions League semi-finals 2024 season. Bayern Munich 2, Real Madrid 2. What a fixture to many, considering the form that Bayern Munich have found themselves this season. They're losing out with 2 or 3 games to go in German League to Leverkusen. One would have thought that Real Madrid would run them over in this one. They show signs of it against Arsenal coming through the quarterfinals. Semi-finals started strongly, went ahead. Went down to 1 goal, came equalized, and went 2-1 ahead. And Madrid equalized 2-2, and that ended in a 2-2 draw. I don't know. Are you impressed with Bayern or disappointed with Real Madrid in this one?
Clearly, I'm impressed with Bayern, and I'm also impressed with Tuchel. Thomas Tuchel is a coach that I wouldn't say I dislike. I would say I didn't rate up till I watched the game against Arsenal. And then I watched how he set his team up yesterday. I would say I'm changing my mind about Tuchel to an extent. I think he's quite a pragmatic coach, and he's a smart coach. But I know I feel he has limitations in certain aspects. But a lot of credit to him for the way he set his team up yesterday. I thought they played really well. Against Real Madrid, a team that I rate really, really highly. Real also, to an extent, did not perform their best like I expected them to do. So I think Real underperformed a little bit, but credit to Bayern for holding their own against a team that I thought was far better than them.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Touching on Tuchel right there, I don't think he's a long-term coach. One-off games, maybe cup games, he can set up teams. But managing a team through the season and playing league games, there's more to it than just tactics. You have to manage players. Where I think I've faulted him is managing the dressing room. It seems he finds it difficult to deal with players' emotions. But when it comes to the tactical side of things, I think he has shown that, especially in big games, he can set up teams to get results. But I have issue with him is managing players, managing dressing rooms, and looking ahead. So I don't think he's a coach you can bring in to instill or build something with your team. We saw it in PSG. He had issues. He had to leave. Came to Chelsea. Won Champions League after 6 months. After that, it was all fight, this, that, until eventually he left. We gone to Bayern Munich now. The same thing is going on. He can't manage the dressing room, but in this one of cup games, he has managed to get results. I won't be surprised if he goes to Real Madrid. Then, secondly, Ancelotti, I don't know. He can't take away what he has achieved in these games, especially in Champions League. But sometimes, especially this season, I've really been worried the way he's setting up Real Madrid. I think it's a little bit of, showing Bayern too much respect or disrespecting the heritage of Real Madrid playing against it. I noticed it against RB Leipzig. I said it then. He gave an excuse that they had injured players. I said, no, I didn't expect Real Madrid to set up that way. Okay, fine. They had injuries. Went to Real Madrid, Manchester City. He did almost exactly the same thing. Bayern Munich now, a team that we don't feel that at home have been very, very weak defensively. He's doing exactly the same, setting up on a counter, and I don't know what you think about that. I think Ancelotti is really beginning to, I think this is pragmatic way of doing things is looking a little bit disrespectful to Real Madrid. I don't know what you think about that.
I disagree. I think that the man gets results and he knows what to do to get his results. He knows how to deploy his team, respecting the opponent. Oh, actually, that's one of the things I rate really highly about Carlo Ancelotti. Very, very cerebral coach, right? I think he knows what he's doing. He's always respectful of the opponents. You don't see him getting involved in any banter, any rubbish talk. Even on the pitch, he doesn't get involved in banter as well. On the pitch, he sets up his team to bring out the best in them and win their games. He knows he's got a couple of wingers that can play as a double strike force. He's got perhaps the best young player in the world right now, moving from box to box in Jude Bellingham. So he sets up his team, and of course, he's also got a couple of veterans that can decide a game and don't need a lot of energy to decide the game. So, yeah. So I think that at the beginning of the season, he got only one forward in Josue that has limited capabilities. He's a forward that does really well with any ball in the air. But as far as the ball is on the floor, he's not the best. So I think Ancelotti made up his mind to use the resources in the best way possible that he has to win. And so far, I mean, he's won multiple Champions League trophies for Real Madrid. So he can't possibly be disrespecting the club. He's actually showing the club respect by setting up in a way to keep winning. By not losing games, exactly. Yeah. So as long as he's winning, he's already won the La Liga. Playing like this and doing all his stuff he's doing, he's won the La Liga. So, yeah, we can't question his. Not that we can't question, but that man is as smart, if not smarter, than most of the coaches in the world right now, starting from Europe and going beyond Europe.
Yeah, you touched on Jude Bellingham there. This wasn't one of his best games for Real Madrid, and he was hooked, into the game. Yeah. Did you think, this is where his age, maybe experience at this level, or is it burnout from, solely this young boy carried Real Madrid the first half of the season, scoring all the goals and with all kinds of performances? Right. Is it that he's tiring out, or is just what do you attribute that to?
I totally agree with you. Yes, I think he's tiring out, and I also think that his age is showing. Age and level of experience is showing. This boy came from Birmingham, and went to Dortmund. But Dortmund barely managed to almost win, but he did not win the Bundesliga with Dortmund, and then he moved to Real Madrid. I think he's done exceptionally well to get to the level he's been with Real Madrid. But yes, it's starting to show. Gosh, I'm loving the Champions League. I think this season more than ever, I've come to love the Champions League and see the competition for what it is. The Champions League is really the World Cup, right? Tougher than the World Cup. So you see the big boys come to play. You see every possession, every decision, makes a difference in deciding games, right? We saw the best of, yesterday and today. Without experience, without efficiency, without the heart, you can never go far in this competition.
I said it, I've been singing it like a broken record. Pedigree and experience in this competition, you cannot go wrong with it. If you don't have personalities in your team, it's difficult to win this tournament, especially in the last decade. Yeah. You have to have players who on their own will just decide games for you. If not, I don't care how you set up your team. I don't care tactics, however you are prepared. You need to have individuals in that team who have done it, who have done it at this level, and have the mind and the heart and the courage to get things done at this level. And that's what we have seen so far. And again, it became even more entertaining and exciting with this away goal that has been removed. You know, before when teams travel on this kind of the fixtures, they kind of stay conservative. You know, they refuse to concede goals, hoping to go back home and win the games. And most times that it works out for a lot of teams and coaches. But now you have to win. So somehow, no matter how, it can't be overly conservative. You have to come out to score goals. If you don't score goals, you don't win. So that's one of the things that also added to it. And this is where what we're talking about now comes. Individuals who can take risks, who can take the responsibility of the game for their teams, and it's showing. So at this level, if you don't have experience and you don't have men, like you said earlier on, people like Madrid and Cruz, who can in a split second decide games for you. So that's what I have observed, just like you mentioned right there. And that takes me to Vinicius Junior and Rodrigo. Vinicius, he got the 2 goals, penalty and the first goal, with very sumptuous pass from Cruz. Between these 2 guys, I tend to feel that Rodrigo is more valuable to Real Madrid than Vinicius. Vinicius gets all the headlines because of the pace and the goals tricky. But Rodrigo, that boy, he's a very smart. If there's anybody that is close to Modric in terms of brain, forget about Cruz. On this young generation, if there's anybody that is close to the brain that Modric has, I think it's Rodrigo. I don't know what you think about that.
I just wrote something in one of the forums that I follow. I just said, if I had the ears of Edu and Arteta being an Arsenal fan, one player would be my priority this summer. Actually, there are 2 players that I so much love that I would make priorities. First one would be Rodrigo. And I said, if Mbappe is going to Real Madrid, it means that something has to give. There's no way Mbappe will come into that team and he will not be paid with Vinicius Junior. Meaning that someone like Rodrigo will be coming from the bench. I would beg, I would bring out whatever money to take. I would pay 120 million if I had the money for Rodrigo. Rodrigo, I think, is extremely underrated.
I'm telling you, for me, better than
smart,
very smart.
So Vinicius, Vinicius has a few attributes that I would say it will give him an edge in the eyes of the general public, right? The football watching public, the fans. His speed, his flamboyance,
for me, it's just presence. Because even the chances, he gets 5, he will press 3 or 3.5 up and score 1.
Yeah.
Then it will be like.
But that Rodrigo,
it's industry.
I don't
everything.
I don't see. Yeah, and he's so under-celebrated, so underappreciated. For what he does, both for the national team and for the club. So I would go for that guy with my eyes closed and with all the money in my pocket. Get rid of Gabriel Jesus and buy him.
I'm talking about what you say you posted. I didn't see this one, but the other one I saw in the morning. It reminds me of Kaka.
So
that's exactly, it's
yes.
I've seen.
Absolutely, yes.
No noise, no drama, nothing. He gets the job done.
Just efficiency.
Right. And he works for the team. Then when he sees chances, he takes them. He creates chances, he works. So for me,
it's incredible.
Talking about Ancelotti, that man doesn't waver in his decisions. Just like when he gave Modric and Cruz work extensions, people it doesn't really bother himself. I won't be surprised if time comes and Madrid has to sell one person and tell Vinicius Junior to go. I will not be surprised because this thing we are saying here, I'm sure he's seen it too. Because if you also look well, Rodrigo has become a mainstay in Real Madrid's team. And like you mentioned earlier on, what stopped him from playing using the striker that he had and play Vinicius Junior on the wing and Valverde on the right and bench Rodrigo? Yeah, I'm sure it's because of Rodrigo that he changed the shape of the team to play two of them close forward and and use the other guys in the midfield. So he went for 4-4-2. So I think you could consider that as well. And maybe Vinicius might have a problem or something to think about next season or over the summer. Unfortunately for your wish, they might not sell. They might start the season already to take to January for one of them to decide to now leave because Atleti will not want to lose either of them. But if it comes to
if they don't want to sell Rodrigo, again, sorry guys, I know we're talking about Real Madrid. I would take Vasquez. I mean, Real Madrid is loaded with a few players that are so. That Vasquez that can play as a wing back and play as a winger.
I don't even know his position. I don't know whether he's a right back.
Very smart player. Very smart, efficient player. Scores goals, works hard, man.
Talking about coaches, again, I want to give Tuchel kudos again. He arrived at Real Madrid. Real Madrid had already established the central defenders. They had Pamecano was there before he got there, I think. Then they have this guy, Delete, arrived as a boss. Then they bought Kim. Then Tuchel came in and asked for Eric Dyer.
Yeah.
Eric Dyer has become a mainstay in that defense. Look at what happened in this game. Kim had a hand in the 2 goals that Bayern Munich conceded.
Yeah.
And I remember when in the summer, was it the last summer or 2 summers ago, when even as some fans, we are United fans, we are crying for Kim. I think he wanted to go to Liverpool. Was it Liverpool that almost signed?
It was Liverpool between Liverpool and United. Both of them were.
Bayern came from nowhere and grabbed him, and he's not covered himself in anything near glory recently, especially in these last 2 fixtures. Among all the central defenders you have in Bayern Munich, Dyer has become the most consistent so far, considering what his records in Tottenham. So I don't know, what you think about, what your views are about the choices that Tuchel made there and how Dyer has, has really impressed with the confidence, bestowed on him.
I do agree. I saw a lot of good things from Dyer. Long passing, excellent. Great tackling, great coverage, good positioning. Yeah, I agree. Tuchel really has shown a few things that I really liked watching them against Bayern and watching them against Arsenal. One player also that he's gotten to still keep improving and keep getting better and better is Musiala. Musiala is a gem of a player, and he's on my list, of players that I badly desire. He is really, really, really good, and Tuchel has helped improve him even more. And I love the way he set his team up, like you said, super efficient. He has some gems in that squad. Someone like Joshua Kimmich, pretty much does it all from defense to attack to midfield. And so he has. I thought it was going to be a breeze for Real Madrid, honestly. But right now, based on what I saw in that first leg, I will not be surprised if Bayern qualify for the final.
So who will you predict is progressing to the finals in this one?
I'll still give it to Real Madrid because they have the advantage of the home leg. I think Bayern will give them a lot of problems in Madrid, but I think they will overcome. They'll win because with Bellingham having such a bad game, they still got a 2-2 draw. When he plays well, he will score. He has a tendency to decide games for them. And so I think he'll play well in the second leg, and they should be able to overcome.
Yeah, having won La Liga, I'm sure they will rest him this weekend, try to be fresh for the second leg. Yeah, for me too, I believe Real Madrid will win this one. Vias, let us know what you think in the comment section. Who do you think is going to progress in this one? Are you impressed with Tuchel? So far, I am impressed with what he has done. He's not a coach that I rate highly, but I always knew that when it comes to one-off cup games, Tuchel will give you, he knows how to set up his team. He's just being around for a long time and managing players' emotions and relationships that I think he struggles with, and that's why he's not managed to stay long anywhere he has gone to. So we hope and see how this one is going to pan out. Hopefully, well, I don't have any emotion towards any of these teams. If Bayern Munich does better, they win. If not, of course, Real Madrid, we believe is going to go through in this one, probably win the Champions League again this season. But we'll wait and see how that one is going to pan out.